I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Godler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki, and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune in to Today FM in National Light Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inaya Ali and I'm from Ba, and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto, and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Good evening, I'm Roland Kuroi and this is FBC News. Tonight, commercial fishermen warned to adhere to license conditions. Cane farmers want railway system back. And Australian grant to boost Fiji Red Cross services. Commercial fishermen are not adhering to conditions set out in their licenses, making it difficult for the Ministry of Fisheries to monitor fish stock. This was revealed at a fisheries forum held in Lambasa today. Eleanor Turangevu reports.
It's been a long-standing issue between commercial fishermen and the Ministry of Fisheries. Getting the catch data from commercial fishermen seems cumbersome of a task on both sides.
It's bad enough that they've had to go out and fish all day and then they have to come in and fill in the log books and all that. But we've had to kindly remind them that it's a condition of their license and it's legislated.
Senior Fisheries Officer Margaret Wakalalambure told the Northern Fisheries Forum this is an issue they face with commercial fishermen everywhere.
There are some fishermen who are very vigilant in how they report. But there are also some cases where we know that the data has just been written the day before. There's been discrepancies.
Standing out at the forum, however, were fishermen from Madhuata, who were identified as the only ones who were fully compliant with the submitting of their data. The Madhuata Rat William Ekatonivere says, as a resource owner, he understands the importance of this requirement.
I have decided with my committee to address this issue very strictly. So by issuing the license, part of the conditions of issuing the consent is that they have to adhere to, updating their data record with fisheries. Failure to do that will not allow us to issue a consent.
Government has no option but to take drastic steps to ensure that commercial fishermen adhere to the conditions set out in their licenses. Catch data is important for stock assessment. Those who fail to submit theirs will not get their licenses renewed. Eleanor Turangevu, FBC News.
Sugarcane farmers in Gelelo Nandi want a bridge fixed and the railway system back to transport their cane to the mill. They claim the system is much cheaper compared to the trucks they are currently using. Ellen Stalls reports.
Gelelo farmers claim it's cheaper and easier to transport their sugarcane by rail.
The railway system, I think it's a little bit easier for the farmers to cut.
Shiri Krishna is an experienced cane farmer, but old age and heart problems make it hard for him to manage his farm.
We have only 2-3 portable lines. We have to change it. You can take it to the nearer to the road. By lorry, you can't fill it there. Lorry will be here. You have to put in tractor trailer and cart here, and that will extra cost up to $12 to $18.
This damaged bridge is the reason why trucks replaced the railway system in 2004. Farmers claim that FSC had refused to fix it.
Behind me is what is left of the Ngelelo Bridge, the main access route from this community, transporting cane as well as buses and cars across this riverway.
But they told us that we're gonna make, after crushing, we're gonna make the new bridge.
New farmers like Eliki Kenivale agrees with Krishna.
Maybe maximum $20,000 for a good six-wheeler truck, high-low gearbox. And but now it's going around for 45, nothing less than 45,000, 60,000. And for a farmer who only has 200 tons of cane, how can we afford cane truck like that.
Questions and calls to the FSC since Tuesday remain unanswered. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
School heads and principals must obtain prior approval from their permanent secretary for any public speeches or interviews. The directive was issued by the ministry through a circular released this week. It said a written request must be submitted to the PS detailing the nature of the event, expected nature of attendance, the officer's role in the event, the relevance of his or her role, and who else is scheduled to speak at the event. The circular also stated that if officers were found guilty of breaching the directive, they could face disciplinary action. No reasons were given for the directive. The Fiji Red Cross received a grant of more than $1 million from the Australian government today. The grant serves as a boost to the organization's Building Resilient Fiji project that prepares maritime areas for future disasters. Kelly Vadala reports.
Through the $1.15 million grant, the Fiji Red Cross for the first time is now able to extend their services to the maritime zone.
This assistance gives us capability that we have not even dreamed of.
Red Cross teams have been visiting cyclone-stricken areas since the monster storm in February.
So this support will enable the Fiji Red Cross Society to pre-position dignity kits, hygiene kits, household packs and shelter kits that will benefit more than 70,000 people.
This project will enable Fiji Red Cross to strengthen its reach into the central, western, eastern and northern divisions, strategically into the maritime zones during disasters or emergencies. By working together with government, the Fiji Red Cross will be able to respond better. Today's announcement has also been welcomed by the government.
We are also pleased that this will also supplement the government help for homes initiative that government is implementing to assist those who lost their homes.
This grant is in addition to the $2.11 million that Australia-Fiji Community Development Program provided to 10 local civil society organizations to assist in the tropical cyclone Winston emergency response. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has invited his Australian counterpart Malcolm Turnbull to visit Fiji. The two met in New York this morning while attending the UN General Assembly. Speaking to FBC News, Bainimarama described the meeting as excellent and said he also invited Turnbull to be part of the Fiji Day celebrations in Sydney next month. Bainimarama also personally thanked Turnbull and Australia, especially the Australian military, for the assistance rendered after Cyclone Winston and also for the Adopt a School initiative program. There were also discussions on the issue of Pacer Plus. Still to come on FBC News, drivers beware, more speed cameras installed along Queen's Highway. And private sector urged to list on the stock exchange. Stay with us.
Iyo mbula bina tangu epeli untuk taliten na parang mbula FM na ako.
Nambang tuan tinangan mbula FM na usur. Mbula FM nambang tuan ser.
Mbula siya kuni ba ulang basa na ko bila merikibi mbula FM nambang tuan ser talita itu ngai lemas.
Mbula FM nambang 2 and ser.
Land Transport Authority is installing new speed cameras along the Queen's Highway. The state-of-the-art cameras are situated in Matakula village in Serua, outside the Hideaway Resort in the Coral Coast, and at a number of other undisclosed locations. All cameras have been placed in areas notorious for speeding and heavy pedestrian traffic. The LTA is expected to have eyes on the road all the way to Lotoka and eventually along the King's Highway as well. The private sector has been urged to start listing their companies on the stock exchange. The encouragement came during a South Pacific Stock Exchange forum that was held at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva today. Savary Tambua reports.
One of the main purposes of today's forum was to create awareness about the South Pacific Stock Exchange.
So it's so often people just quote and say listing, 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 but they don't know what that means, what are the requirements, how long does it take, does it cost money? So these are fundamental questions that businesses will have to ask themselves when they're trying to figure out if listing works for them. This forum hopes to provide the information to answer those questions.
The general feedback, a great learning curve for many.
It's the first time for me to come to this forum, and a great lesson I've learned this morning, a great lesson. So I wish we continue with this sort of forum.
The government has also done its part in encouraging more listing of companies from the private sector.
We hope that by putting in place these various incentives we've put over the past couple of years working with the stock exchange, some of the family-owned businesses will be able to do that.
The SPSE has 18 listed companies, and that number looks set to grow with the development of an electronic trading platform and the possible inclusion of more PNG companies. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The newly appointed Chief Executive of the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme Board has made changes to the organization's operations. Bobby Maharaj says the aim is to provide effective and timely services to students. Ritika Pratap caught up with Maharaj.
Just 2 months into the job, and already Bobby Maharaj is making his presence known.
We got a fully fledged finance team. We have recently appointed a very competent manager of student services who is now taking charge of all student related services, and to ensure that we are really taking care of our students, we have also appointed 2 full-time student counselors now.
The new chief executive says they now have 29 full-time staff at TELS. The organization will have an interactive website for the students by next month.
On that particular website, the students will also be able to chat with our officers for any student services related matters from 8 to 5 p.m. Also online complaints portal, and that new website will also facilitate, let's say, the online application process.
Maharaj says that they want students to be in class rather than waste time at the TELS headquarters.
And so what would happen with the online portal is that the students for NTS, which is the National Topper Scheme, and for the Tertiary Education Loan Scheme will be able to apply online. Right? Once their online application is assessed, the boxes will be ticked, and once it is ticked, they'll be able to generate their offer letters online, they'll be able to generate the bond forms online, and once they load the bond form and the offer letters, they'll also be able to generate their confirmation letters.
The Tertiary Education Loan Scheme Board now has a fully operational center in Lautoka, with a similar setup to be done in Lambasa soon. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
The Ministry of Agriculture has rolled out new projects under the 2016-2017 National Budget. Permanent Secretary Jitendra Singh says production of many agricultural commodities need to be revitalized due to damage caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston.
Dalo, ginger, cocoa revitalization programs, we have cattle multiplication program and so forth. Some of these things are now being rolled out we are supporting emerging industries, as I mentioned, cocoa and coffee also, and we have launched a national goat and sheep breeding program that is doing very, very well at the moment.
The Agriculture Ministry is also working to ensure agricultural biodiversity is conserved to meet food security challenges induced by climate change. Secretary General to Parliament Vinyana Namusimalua has confirmed that they are investigating allegations of sexual misconduct. According to a report in the Fiji Sun, 2 married opposition MPs and a parliamentary staffer were involved in a sexual tryst while attending a workshop in Singatoka. The 3-day workshop included delegates from both sides of the House. It's understood the staffer at the center of the controversy has been sent on 3 months unpaid leave and asked not to leave the country pending further investigations. Namusimalua says a decision will be made on what further action will be taken against the senior parliament staff once the investigation is complete. The Frank Hilton organization is organizing a wheelbarrow race to raise funds for the children at Hilton School. The school currently needs funds to provide expert therapists for the children. Anna Ravulo has more.
The wheelbarrow race will bring back something which Suva hasn't seen since the 1980s. Hilton Organization CEO Sureni Pereira says this is more than just a race for the children.
We need specialists, we need specialized support, and our team consists of these specialists, physios, speech pathologists, or occupational therapists, audiologists, all of them, who will work alongside the teachers. So the funding that we collect through funding events such as this cater to all the supplementary services or allied health services.
Miss Vodafone Hibiscus Ann Dunn says that it will be great that the event will help the children at Hilton School.
I'm just amazed that this type of fundraising can empower such children, and I'm excited to see what the money raised for this organization can do.
The wheelbarrows will start at the Suva Bowling Club on Saturday, November 5th and race along Constitution Avenue through Gladstone Avenue, then down to Vakambo Road and back to the bowling club. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Arun Govil, who played the role of Lord Rama in Ramanand Sagar's hit television series Ramayana, is in Fiji. Govil, along with Fijian-born famous Bollywood singer Sumit Tapu, will be performing 2 shows in Fiji. According to Govil, his journey from not being so religious to a God-loving person was really interesting, and today he is happy serving the society.
This kind of admiration and love, the affection and the compassion which I got it from the people all over the world, wherever the Indians are there, it was unimaginable up to that extent.
The first show will be at the FMF Gymnasium in Suva tomorrow, while the second show is on Sunday at the Prince Charles Park in Nadi. We turn to sports now, and here's Jamie.
Minak Roland, and good evening. Coming up in sports tonight, Fiji Under-18 rugby team seeks nation's blessing. And top female referee off to Jordan. This and more after the break.
मैं जुगेन नंबिलो तालिब से रेडियो फीजी 2 24 घंटे मेरे साथ साथ रहता है।
हम अंगेरी ताउका के ललित से हमारे दिल में और दिमाग में खाली रेडियो फीजी 2 है, और सभी भाइयों से आग्रह करते हैं कि रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनना चाहिए।
मेरा नाम अभिनेश है, मैं निंदी का रहने वाला हूँ। मैं सभी समय रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता हूँ क्योंकि उसमें आईना प्रोग्राम रहता है।
हाय, मैं उमेश नसासा नाबुआ से। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फीजी 2 सुना। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Members of the Fiji Under-18 rugby team presented their itatau at Government House this morning. The team will compete in the Under-18 Tri-Nations Series in Auckland next month. Meli Tavanga has more.
One special thing about this team is that it's the first rugby team in the secondary level to be chosen by the Fiji Rugby Union. In the past, teachers have always selected players for the national team.
We request the referee to come in to pick the best for this Tri-Nation Series.
The players are from 7 different schools and was selected following the Coke Zero Games.
9 from Maris Brothers, 6 from QBS, 3 from Osino, 3 from Marquez, 1 from Rotunavula, 1 from Subograma, 3 from St. John's College, 2 from Thubu College.
Meanwhile, President Chiochi Konrotia reminded the team during the itatau that they are not representing their schools but the country as a whole.
I have no doubt and I have every confidence that you will make us all proud.
The boys also presented their new thimbi to the president after the formality. The Under-18 team will leave this Sunday and will play the Australian schoolboys next Thursday and the New Zealand schoolboys on the 3rd of October. Their biggest challenge may be when they play the New Zealand Barbarians on Saturday, October the 8th. Meli Tawanga, FBC Sports.
The Murinitu Cowboys hope to win its first ever major title when they take on the Police Sharks in Rugby League's Vodafone Cup final. Buranitu captain Sike Limbombo revealed that the road to this final for them has not been easy and that a win on Saturday will boost the profile of the growing sport in the Ra province.
At the moment, we respect the police sucks. I know they're gonna give us a tough game, but we're well prepared for it. Told the boys it's a final, so everything we do will be a final for us. So our preparation will be normal. Boys have been right now they do cane cutting back in the village, so it's not much of a time for us to be together in training. So told the boys you have to believe in yourself. It's a final.
Buranitu take on Police Sharks at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday at Prince Charles Park. Fiji's top female football referee, Fina Vulivuli, is all set to add another feather to her refereeing career by taking part in her 4th FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Jordan later this month. Vulivuli had her last practice run yesterday to add the finishing gloss to her preparations. Vasil Prasad caught up with her.
Striving to be the best in her achievements, Finau Vulivuli is going as an experienced match official at the Under-17 World Cup.
Football is always evolving, there's the speed increases, there's different tactical systems of play that you need to understudy, there are different teams, different players coming on board.
Vulivuli has been using the local games and training with fellow local match officials to test herself before taking charge of some of the world's best team in Jordan.
We don't use it locally, but luckily I had this spare can, so I thought to just have a bit of practice.
Fiji Referees Association has also thrown its support for the Savu-Savu native.
As you know, every referee got a dream. If you don't do World Cup, your refereeing career is incomplete. Reaching a World Cup, any World Cup level is, we say, dream come true.
Vulivuli is the sibling of former Fiji national football rep Thomas Vulivuli and Flying Fijians rugby international Albert Vulivuli.
I guess it's a proud moment for the family as usual, but I think it's a reflection of our support as a family and how solid we are.
She has also indicated this is not the end of the road for her, as Finau is planning to achieve more on and off the field and continue her family legacy. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fiji baseball coach Masahiro Shirakawa's contract with Fasanok ended today. Shirakawa has spent 2 years in Fiji and presented his final report to Fasanok this afternoon. In the report, he says baseball has grown while he's been here and that someday he'd like to come back to further develop the sport in Fiji.
Exchange program, Fiji baseball players go to Japan, and then I'm sure Fiji baseball will go forward and progress.
Shirakawa departs for Japan next Wednesday. New Zealand heavyweight boxer Joseph Parker admits he will bring something new to his next fight, but he's staying quiet on any details. Meanwhile, you can watch the Parker versus Dimitrenko fight at 7 p.m. next Saturday, live on FPC TV. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Roland now with business.
FMF Foods Limited's new biscuit factory at Vesari on the outskirts of Suva is expected to be commissioned by the end of December. It will be operated by Bakery Company Fiji Limited, a subsidiary of FMF Foods. About $40 million has been invested in the project, which is expected to create about 120 jobs. In its annual financial report, company chair Hari Punja said the factory will produce biscuits primarily for the Melanesian market, of which Papua New Guinea is an important partner. Punja says while many commentators are not willing to predict when PNG's economy will pick up, everyone is convinced the direction will most likely be upwards. It was an unexpected warm and sunny day with a few cloudy skies across the nation today. The temperatures in Suva, Nandi and Savu-Savu hit 28 degrees, while Mombasa rose to be the warmest center at 32. For tomorrow, more sunshine and a day much like today. Looking on to Saturday and the weekend, the warm sunny weather is likely to continue. At sea, southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. Recapping the main stories, commercial fishermen warned to adhere to license conditions, cane farmers want railway system back, and Australian grant to boost Fiji Red Cross services. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. And on to this week's question, we are asking, should the new Denarau Bridge be named the Olympic Bridge? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page, FBC News, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. Good night.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Recreative Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Value. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Silipa from Tabor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.